It's 6:42 a.m., and my old coworker, John, texts me from the parking garage in Austin. Counting day 913 of waking up before sunrise. If you live in Canada, you've probably looked south and thought Americans make more money for the same work. If you live in the United States, you've probably looked north and thought at least Canadians have a safety net. The grass is always greener. But both sides are arguing about the wrong thing. Most people compare salaries. The system compares what's left after life shows up. And that difference is where freedom either starts or quietly dies. So today, we stop guessing. We stop arguing feelings. We do the math. I'm going to walk you through 2 lives with identical inputs and very different outcomes. And I'll show you why this isn't coincidence. It's by design. Meet John. He's my friend. 32 years old. Software engineer in Austin, Texas. In 2025, John makes $100,000 a year. Now meet David, also 32, also a software engineer, but he lives in Toronto, Ontario. In 2025, David makes $135,000 Canadian dollars a year. On paper, they're equal. Same age, same job, same ambition, same 6-figure headline. But real life doesn't run on headlines. Both are single. No kids, no tax tricks. This is the default adult version of the system. John lives in Texas. Texas has no state income tax. His pay gets hit by federal tax, payroll tax, and health insurance. Social Security, Medicare, benefits before rent ever enters the picture. So while John's salary says $100,000, what actually hits his bank account is closer to $6,200 to $6,600 a month. John told me, for the first time, I feel like I can breathe. Now, David, Canada takes money in layers. Federal tax, provincial tax, provincial tax, Canada pension plan, employment insurance. None of it is optional. So David's $135,000 turns into roughly $90,000 to $95,000 Canadian dollars after deductions. That's about $7,200 Canadian dollars a month. Roughly $5,200 to $5,600 US dollars. In Toronto, in 2025. Before rent, before food, before life, John already has more room. Not because he's smarter, not because he works harder, because the system takes less from him up front. This is the first trap, the paycheck illusion. A big number on a contract creates the feeling of progress, 8, but the system extracts its share before you ever touch the money, right? Your real income is not what you earn. It's what survives the system, right? So let's look at a normal month, not a vacation month, not a crisis month, just regular life. John brings home about $6,400 a month. Rent is $1,600. Utilities and internet are $250. Car costs are $700. Groceries are $450. Phone, gym, subscriptions are $140. John's total cost to exist is about $3,140. What's left? About $3,260. David. David brings home about $7,200 Canadian dollars a month. Rent is $2,600. Utilities and internet are $300. Transit is $160. Groceries are $550. Phone and basics are $195. Total cost to exist is about 3,800 Canadian dollars. What's left? About 3,300 Canadian dollars. That's roughly 2,500 US dollars. Same headline income, different runway. Housing is the silent wealth killer. John's rent is about 25% of his take-home pay. That's not luxury. That's leverage. It leaves room to save, room to invest, room to recover from mistakes. Toronto is a different universe. David's rent eats 35 to 45% of his take-home income. And this is where fragility begins. When rent is that high, a car repair isn't annoying. It's a budgeting event. A job loss isn't stressful. It's a countdown. A rent increase isn't unfair. It's a forced move. This is not a personal failure. It's a structural pressure point. Here's the quiet part no one says out loud. High income doesn't free you. It often locks you in. Upgrading your apartment upgrades your obligations. Upgrading comfort upgrades obedience. That's how golden handcuffs work. You don't feel trapped. You feel responsible. And responsibility is one of the most effective control mechanisms ever designed. In the United States, healthcare is not just a service. It's a financial risk. Insurance helps, but deductibles and surprise bills create constant background stress. John said it best, I'm fine until something happens. Canada flips that model. David doesn't fear medical bankruptcy, but he pays with time. Wait lists, delays, limited coverage for dental, vision, and prescriptions. David told me I don't fear bankruptcy. I fear waiting. Neither system is free. You just choose which currency you pay in. Now here's where the gap becomes permanent. Buying a home. In late 2025, the median home price in Austin is around $540,000. Toronto sits around 1 million Canadian dollars. That's not a small gap. That's a structural wall. John can build a down payment faster. David can do everything right and still lose years. One bad year slows John. It can reset David completely. So who is actually rich? John's advantage is cash flow. Cash flow creates speed. Speed creates options. Options create freedom. David's advantage is stability. Stability reduces catastrophic downside. But people don't chase six figures for safety. They chase autonomy, and autonomy is built on margin. Salary is not freedom. The gap between income and obligation is you are not lazy. You are not bad with money. You are optimized for extraction. If you're in Canada, stop thinking in gross salary. Only track after tax, after housing cash flow. If housing is crushing you, geographic arbitrage matters. Even 30 minutes away can change the math. If your skills are global, price them globally. Remote work, cross-border clients, US pay bans. And if you live in a premium city, you need a premium buffer. If you're in the United States, treat healthcare risk like a bill. Know your deductible. Know your out-of-pocket max. Don't let no state income tax turn into lifestyle creep. Respect housing. Lose control there, and the system tightens fast. Build leverage, skills, savings, time, systems. John and David both worked hard. Both followed the rules. Both hit 6 figures. But only one can buy time. And in this system, time is the only asset that compounds without permission. So ask yourself, are you being rewarded or are you being comfortably contained? Comment your real monthly leftover and tell me which side you're on. Because once you see the system, you don't get to unsee it.